Jeff, always good to see you, sir. We got a good topic that you came up with for today. Very thought-provoking, and I'll be curious to hear and see what some of our audience and readers think. But great topic, and make sure I get this right. Keep me honest, but in essence, if one element of technology was removed from your sales arsenal, which one would the fear of that loss give you the biggest panic attack?
Thanks, Carson. Yeah, I'm realizing now as I'm going to answer this question that all I'm going to do is probably just piss off a lot of people because, most of the people who are listening to this, it won't be their technology that they sell, that it'll be my choice. So I just want to be clear. I like all sorts of different tools, and there's all sorts of different cool things that I'm proud of. I even posted this morning about Zoom Info and some cool things that they're doing, but that's actually not going to be my answer. My answer is Gong. And this is not a sponsored video. Gong's not giving me any, money for this one. Maybe they should, but I think, and even if it's not Gong, maybe just any sort of conversational intelligence tool, whether it's, Chorus or Fathom or Avoma. There's all these different tools out there that exist, so it doesn't necessarily have to be Gong. But I would say like my current role, the first thing I did within a week of joining as VP of sales in January was signing us up for Gong. And fundamentally, just as a sales leader, I felt that if I can't make decisions unless I know what's going on, unless I have data on what's going on in my conversations. And in the companies I've worked at, these tools I think are foundational because they really apply to like every group in the organization. So, from a sales perspective, certainly I can use it for coaching or just to like pull up notes on what happened in a call or there's all this cool AI now where I can just ask a question like, "Hey, what was the customer's biggest pain point?" And it'll tell me, right? Like that's all really valuable from a sales perspective. But from a product perspective, we're leveraging it and even operations to understand like what geographies do we need to expand to, what countries do customers ask about the most, and so from that perspective, I think just understanding what's happening in your calls is really informative for how inform your product roadmap, operations, everything throughout the company. It gives people throughout the organization an ability to weigh in and understand what's going on with the team. Like even if you're not working in sales, but you can see what's going on in some of these sales calls, just gives you better insight into what customers are asking for. So there's a million use cases for it. Obviously, like the generic ones are like coaching your reps and things like that. And I'll usually review like one call a week, and you can build little playbooks in there now and make sure people are adhering to different sales processes. So I'd say that Gong for me is like the big non-negotiable. If you took it away from our team, there'd be riots. What about you, Carson?
I'm gonna have to check out Gong. I'm definitely gonna show my age here because look, I've been doing this a long time, and I look back and I think about all the different tools. I mean, there's so many things that are like really nice to haves, you know. I love being able to leverage Copilot and ChatGPT and Teams and pulling, messages out of things and leveraging data real time and calls. I mean, there's so many things, especially over the last 3, 4 years since we've switched to remote and hybrid work that are so advantageous and beneficial. A lot of people would also expect me to immediately jump to LinkedIn. And I also want to say, obviously, I work for an organization that owns them. This is not a promotion as well, giving full disclosure. LinkedIn would be my number two, close number two, because of everything that I've been able to do through LinkedIn. But I came up in an environment which I had to be really, really scrappy. I mean, we were tracking cold calls on a piece of paper, and literally turning them in at the end of the day. And I think about here quite a while ago, and I'll date myself here, early 2000s, where leveraging Microsoft Excel became a game changer for me, whether it was tracking, the calls and the metrics, keeping my own individual averages and statistics. Yes, I'm that obsessive. I was always tracking my own stats, the stats of my team, putting together reports, and even today the way that I've leveraged Excel broadly to, in essence, gamify our team's approach. I've been very forthcoming on a lot of shows talking about the Moneyball approach that I take, not only from a sales perspective, but also from a leadership perspective, mapping out everything that we need to be going after. Um, who's our target, what are the key relationships that we need, and being able to have quantifications and assign data and analysis. I've used a grid that I created with my team here several months ago when I got this new job, and I've probably got about 1,000 tabs on this thing now because we have tens of thousands of leads and all kinds of other elements. So that would be the one that if you took that away, it would be the hardest to cope. I thought about this as we were leading up to this, like even if you took away LinkedIn, I'm scrappy and resourceful, and I would find these people and I would figure out what their email addresses are and I would get a hold of them, figure out their phone numbers. I'd find a way to find my target. But you take away Excel, and man, I'd be fishing in the dark. So my choice is Excel.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so many things, and even just like building a business case for a customer or something, right? You need to plug in numbers and, have a way to show them the value of a solution. So I'd say that that's a no-brainer. You need something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like our price sheets are still on Excel. Like there's so much. So that's definitely mine. And I'd love to hear more about those that are checking us out here today. I'd love to hear what's kind of that indispensable technology that you leverage that if you lost it, you'd have a freak out session. And talking to you today, Gong should be paying you because I realized that I should go investigate them a little bit more and find out more. So thank you
Well,
for
hey,
that.
if you sign up, I'll see if I can get a kickback or something.
There you go. Beautiful. Jeff, always good to see you, man. Love to hear some comments of your indispensable sales tools, and we'll see you next time.